podcast. We have a couple of guests today. One very special guest, all the way from Nigeria, Jasper Johnson, who is the founder of the Afro International Film Festival that's going to take place in Atlanta, Georgia in October. Jasper, why don't you come here and maybe start saying a little bit about who you are, what you do, and a little bit about the film festival. And we'll see where Zita went here.
Zita, are you there?
I'm trying to track her right down right now. I think we lost her at the moment.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Hello.
Oh, hi Zita. I was just gonna call you.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Okay, so let me try this again. This is so crazy. I can't explain what just happened. Were we live at all?
Yes, we're still live. Do you want me to stop it and restart it?
We're live now. So what actually happened? I don't know. Okay, can you see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. We can see you.
Sorry for that interruption. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Sister Zita from Zita's Healthy Beginnings. Welcome to World of Women podcast. Today is May the 9th, and we are still celebrating Nurses Week. We are still warming up to celebrate Mother's Day on Sunday. When I talk about women, that's what it is. And especially this month of May comes with a whole lot of blessings to me as an individual and to all of us and to the organization. This evening is really interesting, and I'm glad to introduce you guys to one of my friends from Nigeria. And this is a young man, accomplished guy. And I'm going to actually like him to share his story with us. He is our guest speaker. He is going to really tell us about his organization that is called Afro International Film Marketing and Festival. We are hoping that this is going to be a big festival this year in October 12 to 14. And we're all warming up for it. We have him tonight to really give us more information on what this is about, what his hopes are, what actually prompted him to start this wonderful organization. What does that mean for him and for Africans? And at the end, how did he get connected to Zita's Healthy Beginnings World of Women podcast? Without further ado, I'm going to invite Chief Jasper Johnson to please come up and take the mic and introduce yourself to us.
Thank you, Sister Zita. I'm so happy to be here tonight to actually address our people in the United States and beyond. My name is His Highness Chief Jasper Johnson Ochiale, the 7th of Ahunwa Kingdom, Your Masala Maswena Ushimini Beke Tonda. I'm a native of River State, Niger Delta of Nigeria. and I'm a graduate of political science from the University of Abuja. And I've also worked as strategic youth advisor under the President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration from 2012 until 2015, when we lost the election to retired General Muhammadu Buhari. And so in course of my interaction with the Nigerian youth, especially the ones in the entertainment industry, I realized that the few things they were doing in the film industry was not properly accomplished, was not properly organized, and it was done without recourse to some basic standards. And of course, I'm widely traveled, and the entertainment, creative, and culture industry is my passion. And so after we left office, I traveled to South Africa to meet with the management of the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival, and address them for a measure. And of course, a deal was struck and we all came together. Then the organization in Nigeria was Arise and Build Nigeria Development Initiative. And so after the merger, we had it as Afro International Film Market and Festival, which was official and fully registered at the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, as well as the Copyright Council of Nigeria, and of course, a non-profit organization in Johannesburg, South Africa. And so we started building and making connections with similar organizations across the world. In cost of our effort to be able to do a Maiden Film Festival in Lagos, which we'll call Afro International Film Market and Festival Lagos 2020, we traveled, myself and the former chairman of the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. We went to Canada to meet with Fabian Colas. Fabian Cola is the founder of Montreal Black Film Festival, Halifax Black Film Festival, and a few other blacks. In fact, she has about 7 film festivals in Haiti. She's originally from Haiti, and they will struck a deal that we're going to collaborate. We also came down to Los Angeles to meet with Ayuko Babu, who is the executive director of the Pan-African Film Festival of Los Angeles. And then we kept on going, making sure that some of these people that have similar passion, similar contribution to our society in terms of promoting the Black consciousness through the creative and culture industry, we needed to get in touch with them because we were supposed to come with a bang. We were supposed to come from the motherland and from very powerful kind of narratives that will be able to be able to resonate with everybody in the continent and of course in the diaspora. And so in 2020, having invested heavily in the venue and of course the list talents and artists we were supposed to bring in from the US and a few other things we did from other African nations. It was supposed to be a very powerful event in Lagos in April 2020, but suddenly the pandemic came and then everything was canceled, and then we all went back home and stayed for over a year. And so when we got back last year, January, we started all over again. We felt this time around, we have to make plans to be in the US, where this whole thing is quite big. Hollywood is the biggest film industry in the world in terms of revenue. And so we felt that we should take this message of hope, a message of partnership to the United States, particularly to our brothers and sisters who are already in this industry, so that we can form partnership and collaboration to push this thing forward. And what has informed our decision so far is the fact that the African continent is highly diverse continent in terms of creativity and culture. It's the most diverse continent in the world when it comes to culture and creativity. And in Africa, every hamlet have their own unique story, which can be made a movie, which can be made a blockbuster. And so, but the issue that has been going on is we've been facing some challenges ranging from funding, equipment, and of course, the technical know-how. And this is one of the challenges, some of the challenges that Afro International wanted to address, and that is what we're exactly doing. And so in course of what we're doing, we realized that we must be in the US, take this message to the doorstep of Hollywood. And we felt Atlanta is the right place to begin our journey. in the diaspora. And so we've decided to bring to the US the US Africa Film Summit, which is also a film festival. And that is a 3-day event where some professionals and talents from the US and Africa will come together and see how we can fashion out the best way, the best approach, the best template to be able to have some profound collaboration in making movies, not just making movies, in also distribution. One of the challenges we face in the African continent also is the issue of market. You know, we have a whole lot of content here. For Nigeria alone, we chunk out 2,500 films per year, and if you give that, make that an economy, it doesn't really go far in terms of revenue because those contents are not well distributed. You know what distribution means this time around. There are digital distributions like Netflix, the Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and so this is not just the only distribution channel. There are other distribution channels that are not even interested in what is happening in Africa, but they're interested in our content. So Afro International is established to be able to build bridges where some of these marketing channels will be introduced to Africa, and people should be able to make a huge return on their investment. So this is basically what we're trying to do. And it's not going to be a one-man business. It's going to be like a community where everybody, irrespective of what it is that you do, coming together to see how we can really begin to tell the African story to the world. Before now, people felt that even Africa was just a country. I've been in the US where they said, "Oh, are you going to Africa? Africa is a rich continent," So we begin to tell this story to the outside world that Africa is not just a continent ravaged by war, famine, and disease and stuff like that. We still have wonderful places, unique culture, which promotes love, unity, and stuff like that. If you go to a place called Namibia, you see the beauty of nature. It's such a fantastic place. It's a place we can as well invite foreign filmmakers to come shoot movies and all that. So we really want to start opening African doors to international filmmakers, international production companies, and also see how we can attract investment to the continent, by building studios, and see how we can organize co-production opportunities, not only across Africa and the United States, but across the rest part of the world. So in Afro right now, we've been able to build our chapters in 25 nations, including France, Netherlands, Dubai, and of course some countries in Africa, in Latin America, and in the Caribbean. We have a very strong followership from Panama and Colombia, of course Brazil, because they've lost touch with our culture, and they are yearning for our culture, whether spiritually or physically. They are yearning for our culture. And the best way we can express our culture to these people is by music, film, and arts. And that's what we intend to do. Of course, we're going to start somewhere. Outside this continent, we're going to start from the US, and then it will cascade to other part of the world. Next year is going to be huge. Next year, we're having even two full-fledged film festivals in the US. Two full-fledged film festivals in the US. The same thing will be happening in Dubai, of course, in the Netherlands and Johannesburg. So this is our spirit, and we're looking forward to a greater collaboration from people who believes in the African dream. We're looking out for partnership. We're looking for any form of collaboration, which of course our doors and windows are open for such arrangement. My people usually say that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. We have already started, and we are not going to stop until we get to our destination. Or as my friend Martin Luther King Jr. puts it, as long as the cord of Rio lengthens, we're not going to stop. So this is a fantastic meeting, and I want to assure everybody that we mean business. We are focused on the target, and by the grace of God, we're going to achieve and accomplish, not just for us in Africa, but the whole world will be enriched with the better aspect of African story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Jasper. Thank you also for your time. We know that in Nigeria right now, the time is like 1 a.m. or 1:30 in the morning. This
Yeah,
is the time everyone is sleeping, but
yeah.
you have honored our invitation to come and talk to us. I have
Thank you.
another fellow also that I talked to from Nigeria, and he is with us here as well, Joseph
Yeah.
Afro. Joseph is a director for the our community hope farm, and I invited him as well to come and join us to get more information because Joseph is a huge in the agro industry. He lives in Lagos, and he is going to get this information and will be our contact person, or like work with us to make sure that this message gets to everybody, and that we have young people coming to join us to make this dream happen. Now, before I open it up to the audience, Chief Johnson, can you tell us what actually inspired you as an African man and as a Nigerian to pursue this dream?
Yes, thank you very much for this beautiful question. I'm a very strong advocate of the African cultural renaissance. I'm a cultural icon myself. I'm a traditional leader myself. And of course, I obey the voices of nature. And so when I was in Bible school in Dunamis, a particular evening in the lecture, I got inspired. I was beginning to think like I was going mad. What is really happening to my own African spirituality? What is really happening to my own African spiritual content? And stuff like that. And then when I was younger, I used to travel kilometers by foot to go watch movies. Then there was one movie they used to call Rambo. Rambo, one Rambo. I used to travel some 7 kilometers to go watch Rambo. And so I developed very serious interest in the creative industry. I've also founded, when I was quite young, I founded a cultural musical group, and I was the lead singer and stuff like that. So I guess God was just taking me through stuff like that. And so when I'm somebody that, like I said, anything I do with great passion. And so when we were in government and I was interacting with these actors, with some of these people who were in entertainment, I realized they were just focused on creating content. They were not interested in the business aspect of it. They were not interested in actually developing outside the shore of this country. And so that inspired me to see how I can build bridges. And then I had some resources. I knew that I'm going to invest money in this. I have to do some research and realize that it's one very, very powerful film market in Africa, which is the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. It was established in 2007. And I had to travel there because I knew if I place my money on the table, we're going to make a deal, because I told them holistically what my vision and dreams are. I told them what you guys are doing here is small. You're doing a little South African thing, but I want to take this global. And it's a mobile film market. We're going to be traveling from nation to nation, distributing and having conversations on the African film content. So that is what gave birth to what I'm doing, because it didn't just start today. It's been in my system, but at a point, God brought it out. And thank God, the zeal and the strength was there, and I've pushed it this far. And I'm not going to stop pushing it until Africa and the rest of the world begin to feel the impact of our genuine and original stories.
Thank you so very much for your for answering the question. Honestly, we all grow up with certain dreams. We all grow up with certain talents, and they're gonna remain dormant as long as we don't pursue them. We could do that in different ways: family support, community support, even the global support. I believe what you have just shared is really giving each one of us a food for thought, a dream that you had started giving to you. That seed was sowed when you were little with your interest. You grew up seeing certain things. You also got education, which really broadened your mind. And here we are today. You're taking it to the next level, and that is very, very important in today's world. Most of the prominent people we hear about today all started from even their mother's kitchen. Some started playing in the sand, others started just swimming, and here they are being prominent people, accomplished people. So I am so excited, particularly because even my one of my nephews, Kenne, is also on this call. He's only 11 years old. They all get excited when it comes to things from Africa, Nigeria, and stuff like that. So listening to someone like you gives them hope, challenges them as well to keep
Thank you.
building their, building on their own dreams and not to let it drop. You're right when you say that people think that Africa is a country. Some people still think that way. And I think what is giving some of the wrong impression is, first of all, people they are not really well educated about what Africa is. But then who is going to educate them? It's going to be Africans themselves. And here
That's
you
right.
are now with this goal to educate the world really about Africa, about who we are, about our culture, our rich culture. And we want to share that at that global platform so that everybody will get equal opportunity of education and understanding. And in fact, accessing the wealth, which should be a mutual thing, because Africa has the resources as it stands right now. And that is personnel. We have younger people who are like booming in different industries. Talk about innovation, talk about technology. We have all of that. The only thing that is lacking right now is the platform. And that is what you have brought to us on this, podcast this evening, which gladdens my heart. I'm so glad for what you're doing. I'm so proud of you. And now I'm going to open it up to our audience. Please unmute yourself. Feel free to ask questions and welcome.
Thank you so much, Sister Zita.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Tar, you have a question or something, a comment?
No, not really. I'm just listening to all of it. It's very interesting. Um, I'd like to be able to connect. I'm a graphic art designer, professional photographer, and I design websites for a living. So I designed Zita's website, but I've been trying to connect with her. I do podcasting on another organization. So I'd like to bring a couple of people in here on our podcast and figure out how that works and how that would promote you. And if I could help in any way with my graphic arts degree on designing different things, I would love to be able to participate. One of the things that as a website designer, we're kind of loners. We don't work with a lot of people, but that's why when it comes to having an opportunity to collaborate with other people, I love it because I love collaboration, but my business does not really allow for that, really. But if I can do anything, or I'll just tell you what I know how to do. I'm 71 years old. I'm disabled. I had a hip replacement that became infected, and I went through 10 operations fighting the infection, so I'm somewhat disabled. So I actually don't do professional photography anymore, but I do some video, but it's real basic. But I'd like to be part of marketing somehow. So there it is. You let me know. I'll let you know what I know how to do. If I don't know how to do it, I'll research it and try to figure out how to make it work.
Thank you so much.
I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So we're just now coming into the hot season of our lives. People don't realize that the average temperature in the summertime in Phoenix is 110 to 120. So we're pretty warm here in the summer.
Yeah, pretty toasty.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's a good thing. That really helps you, keeps your blood warm, helps to keeps away arthritis. Just think about it. Look at the positive side of sun. It makes you to get excited. It's an antidepressant, as everybody knows. So yes, it really helps a lot. It can also be hard on the skin. So take care of yourself. I'm sure you've lived there for years and years now, so you know how to do that. Just for everybody, Mr. John Tarr has been a wonderful, wonderful friend. He really helped me a lot, still helping me in my podcast, doing my website. He's really a great resource. To crown it all, he's a Christian. So, Mr. Jasper, you would like to connect with Mr. Tarr so that he can even interview you, and he is really great with PR. So please connect with him. We have a huge link and we have a huge resource. Not only him, and Monica, his lovely wife, is excellent. Monica, in fact, the whole family. So I'm so glad whenever God brings me close to Christians, because it's for a purpose. Yeah, so thank you so much, John, for sharing. And
thank you
please
so much.
Put your information on the chart so we can all have it, especially for Chief Jasper. Joseph, are you available to speak, to make a comment? Did you hear what Chief Jasper shared?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I really want to commend you for putting up this podcast, and also appreciate Chief Jasper for that wonderful presentation. So from my understanding, this is going to actually promote the rich culture of Africa. So, but then I want to ask, today in Africa, let me use Nigeria as an example. We have lots of contents, digital content that's in terms of movies, that are flying on the internet, and we have lots of them that promotes good values in terms of morals. Then we have some that are not so good. So, and then, of course, I know where you stand on Sister Zita. You are considering the office that you occupy. You will always want to be on the positive side. So I want to ask which aspects precisely is this organization, should I use that word, standing on, as in terms of the nature of films that will be coming out courtesy of this organization. I would like to have little education in that regards. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Chief Jasper, before you answer the question, I just want to chip in that Joseph is not the only one that has made that comment. In fact, I have 3 of my friends who have also asked me. 2 of them I invited tonight. One is at a church meeting right now. She's not able to make it, but that was one of the questions they asked me. And it's so interesting that Joseph is asking the same question. So yeah, so please, over to you. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much, my brother Joseph. You know, one thing with entertainment is that a lot of people are involved in creating content for so many audiences, and there is no strict regulation as to what to create and put out there. That being said, the Afro International Film Festival is promoting the rich African cultural heritage. We want to make this world a better place by bringing contents that will unite the world instead of dividing the world. We want to bring content out, promote contents, produce content, showcase content, exhibit contents that have the issue of core values of our people, the norms of our people, and those things we do and do it well. We also want to say that even before the arrival of the Europeans who brought in Christianity, Africa also has very rich spirituality, you know, how we related with our God. That is why in this part of the world I come from, we call it Chi, Chiokike, Chuku, and all that. That is the name of our God, you know, the God that creates, the being, the super being that creates. So we want to be able to go back to history. I wrote a letter to an event in Kansas City. They were talking about the slave trade. I told them that the African history transcends slave trade. This is a continent of kings and queens. This is a continent that has very rich empires. These are continents that had very rich kingdoms. These are there's a man they call Mansa Musa who traveled with a whole lot of gold and stuff like that to Saudi Arabia. And as he was traveling on his route, nations were getting rich or getting richer. So Africa is a place where we have a lot of stories to tell. And those stories should be the one that uplift mankind, that brings us together, that makes us to be more productive, that brings out the 4 issues of our entrepreneurship spirit, and to see how we can really unite not just the Black race. We also have to unite the world, because I mean, if there is crisis anywhere else, it's going to affect even our people in Africa. So our contents we're going to promote are basically the ones that promotes and supports the well-being of our people anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Jasper, for the answer you provided. So Joseph, I think that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you have any more questions or comment?
I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
That response. Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I really like the idea of you know, to show who we are, because sometimes individuals may misunderstand who you are. Excuse me, according to who is sharing your story. And as a continent, it's sad to say that we have not been well represented culturally, not even physically or even mentally. It all depends on who people see. And sometimes they don't even see the person. I mean, the person might be there looking at you. You're not seeing them. What you're seeing is the mentality you have already of them. So, and that's all you know. And it gets worse even when the information or your story is being shared by someone else who does not understand who you are. And that's the only information out there. It gets worse. And whatever people get out there, study, they watch. That's how they make their own conclusions about life and take people from that value. But what we're trying to do here is to make sure that the African story is being told by Africans themselves. And that is very critical this day and age as innovation and technology is the talk of the town. And also finding out that Africans themselves are interested and have really invested in that kind of innovation, particularly in this film and film industry. As Joseph said, there's a whole lot of there's a whole lot of films coming out by the day, actually, if not by the hour, from different people in Africa. In Nigeria, for example, there's a lot, men and women, and we pay attention to that content. We want the information that is being shared with the world that it portrays who we actually are. And that means our culture, our heritage, our belief, and so forth, so that people will see us and really recognize who we are. And knowing that this is coming from us, and if people have questions, comments, that they're directing it to the right source and not from hearsay or from what I read from the book or what somebody somebody from somewhere that went to somewhere in Africa is sharing. So this is really, really important. And the other question I have for you, Chief Jasper, is what would you tell a young man, a woman in Africa right now who is struggling with their belief, their faith, the culture, the socio-economic challenges, and they hear about you and what you're doing? What would you tell them? How would you respond to them when they see you and say, actually are you doing? What is motivating you to do this? Because we don't see anything, we don't see any future in what is going on in Africa. What would be your response?
Thank you, Sister Zita. It's a very tricky question. What I can say is one thing is what you are called upon by God to do. You must have the calling for any particular thing you want to do. You don't need to call yourself, because if you call yourself, you're going to get tired on the road. You must allow God to call you to do a specific thing on this planet. And so it's really difficult, especially when you have a vision nobody believes in. When you're dreaming a dream nobody believes in, it's really difficult to push it through. But one thing you need to do is to be able to convince yourself that you're doing the right thing. And you must also search your conscience very well to also confirm the fact that you're doing the right thing, and that what you're doing is going to add value to humanity, that what you're doing is going to bring value to the table of the people. You're going to be able to use your talent and your skill to change the narrative. And then if you are convinced that you're positive on that way, then you can push your dream through. There are times that in course of what I've been doing since 2019, when the pandemic came, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was dreaming. I was in my, I didn't come out of that house. I didn't come out of my house for 2 weeks, because it was devastating to me, because in the Nigerian contest, in the Nigerian Naira, I lost 42 million. And that is the money I worked so hard for, and I saved to be able to go into another kind of business. You know, because before I went into politics, I was into oil and gas. I had a blending plant for oil feed chemicals. I was doing what they call soda ash solution and sodium hypochlorite and magnadol. So I was supplying major oil feed chemicals to the LNG project. So I wanted to also use that money to be able to go back to business, and then see how I can import some raw materials. But when this vision, when this dream, when this call came, that I should build these bridges to connect humanity through film, storytelling, and stuff like that. It was heavy on me, and I kept on. So when I lost money, I almost gave up. I almost was discouraged. But deep inside of me, I said, if God gave me this vision, this is just a temporary setback. And by my kind of person, I'm not really moved by what anybody says. Or if you try to discourage me, I know that you're just speaking from your own viewpoint. You may not know what God has shown to me about the future of what we're doing. And now, I kept on going. I kept on going. And I tell you what, I have met closed doors. I have met dashed hopes, failed promises in thousands. I have been disappointed. I have given money to some group of persons who said they are consultants in the film industry in Nigeria, and I didn't see them again. A lot of things happened that would have discouraged me, but I said, no, nothing is going to discourage me except God. And so that kept me going until I'm here today, having this conversation with a whole lot of beautiful people out there. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. You know, some persons told me that you can't go far with this. You're not a filmmaker. You're not a film producer. You're not a director. What are you doing? I said, I don't need to be any. The founder of Universal Studios wasn't an actor. The three Warner brothers, they were not actors. These were inventors. These were innovators. These were great thinkers. These were people who saw tomorrow, and then they started what they are saying from the business point of view. And today we can talk about Universal Studios. We can talk about even Goldwyn Mayer. We can talk about so many of those studios in America. They started from somewhere before the banks in New York came in the 1920s and then the 1930s, and then they started building cinemas, creating movies and stuff like that. Even the film industry didn't originate from America. What they call cinema, it came from France. The cinema as a culture, cinema itself didn't come from America, it came from France. But France saw it as a gimmick, as an invention, as something to just play around with. And then the British took over and saw it as a culture to promote their culture. The Americans came in and saw it as a business. And there's some couple of guys who were moving from one point to Los Angeles. People were moving to Los Angeles to see how they can find a new heaven for film and all that. That's how this whole thing started. So if we must make a difference in our lives, we must begin to push forward. Irrespective of the challenges we meet on the way, we must continue to meet. Like I keep saying, I must continue to do this as long as the God of relentless. I'm not going to stop. Nothing can stop me except God, nothing. I wouldn't mind to stand that day in the Auburn Avenue Research Center alone, holding my banner. Thank God I have somebody who's going to design banner for me. I have this brother here who is going to design banner for me. So I don't have any problem anymore with banner. So I'm saying to every young person that want to start anything, if you are convinced that God has called you for that purpose, it's going to be difficult, no doubt. But I tell you what, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and by the grace of God, we shall all come out accomplished. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, thank you so very much. You really answered that question in a very versatile way. And I like the whole idea of trusting that the call, trusting the journey, putting your faith in the one that calls and know that that person is faithful. And that also you don't lose sight of people, because people are going to talk. Just be aware of that. Whatever anyone does in this world, people will talk. If you do positively, they will talk. Negatively as well. So just make sure that before one steps out, is what Chief Jasper is telling us, that you know within yourself and your God that this is a journey both of you have really committed to, and you have to know what it entails. And the way to actually find hope and sustenance is like what we're doing now. Like this wouldn't have happened if you hadn't really persevered to this point. So sometimes, yeah, we have to carry our dreams. In fact, we have to dream alone for the most part, because you are the only one that has been given that dream, no other person. So just know that when you're a young person, you're going to commit yourself to whatever it is God has put in your heart. But also remember that it is your dream. You're going to have to put it out there for other people to trust you. And of course, you're going to have to build that personality that will attract people to you and to whatever cause that it is that you have, decided to pursue. I know that the other thing I want to add is coming from Africa, it's not a plus sometimes. It isn't because of the history we all know and we carry. And it's all over the world. But what is important is for us to be really, really credible. You got to save, your image. You got to let people understand what you got. And you have to let them understand that regardless of whether money is involved or not, because everything in life is not money. So, and we can really testify to that, even by what we're doing right at this moment. So I am so, and believe that God is always going to provide if we trust God. So I am so happy for what we're talking about here now. And I'm not sure if anybody else has some comments before, if anyone has something to add, please add before we ask you a last question to wrap it up.
Okay, I have a question to ask.
Okay.
Yes, my question is, since this platform promotes films from Africa, so should someone or a group from Africa ask a film that they have done, irrespective of the length or something like that? So how can they, or how can this organization help in terms of promoting it? What are the things involved? I would like to ask, because later today now, at least I will be talking to some people and let them know, okay, this is a webinar I attended and these are the take home, and because they too also ask questions. So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. In this event, we're in partnership with Actors Guild of Nigeria under the able leadership of Chief Emeka Rolas, MON. And Kanayo is the chairman of the subcommittee, organizing subcommittee, ensuring that everybody in that sector in the organization is part and parcel of what we're doing. Also, the AMPRAC, that is Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, under the able leadership of Mr. Ifeanyi Azodo, is also partnering with us. Also, we are in technical partnership with Federal Ministry of Information and Culture under the leadership of the Permanent Secretary who oversees the execution of policies in the ministry. We are also in partnership with Nigerian Film Corporation, JOS, under the able leadership of Dr. Chidio Amadekwe, Ojomadekwe, younger brother, who is also doing very well. He just finished a film village, Hafia is village, being sponsored by a German NGO. These people are all part of what we're doing. The reason why it's not so loud from this end is because of this last election. Nothing touched the soul of Nigeria like this last election. This last election created a lot of dismay, a lot of disappointment and frustration among our people. And that didn't actually go down well. And before now, we've already consulted deeply with the PDP system. And of course, even some of our people who are in the upper echelon were part of this. But when that party couldn't make it, it became a little bit of a problem. But I said, well,
Did we lose Chief Jasper?
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. We lost you
Sorry.
there a little bit.
Yes. Sorry, a call was actually trying to come in. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is all these guys are all involved, technically speaking. if you go to our website, www.onetheme1marketsummit.org, one theme, one market, one theme as in one figure, one theme, one market summit.org, you will see the platform to submit your themes, to submit your contents for our award. So if you have contents or you have people who have contents, you can ask them to go to our website. I can share that with you. Of course, Sister Zita has a website. She can share that with you. So you can ask them to go there and submit their movies. And also, if people that want to participate can also register online so that they can be privileged to see and be part of our investment summit. And of course, our panel of discussions on the issues of the African film industry, challenges, and of course, opportunities. So that is not a problem at all. Then today,
Jasper, could you put your website in the meeting chat? I put my email in there, but could you put the website in there, please?
Emily, can you help with that, please?
Yeah, I'll put it in there.
Okay, thank you.
Good. So if you go to this website, it's really, you'll be able to get more information as to what to do. Yesterday, I think we're in a brand new day right now. Yesterday, I inaugurated the France chapter of Afro International Film Festival. And that's our team. These are French writers. Few of them are from Guinea Conakry, from Mali, and those Francophone countries. A particular person there has a 50-page book on the history of Africa. It's called the Exiled Queen. So, and she wants to transform that book to a movie, and I'm yet to receive the book so that my creative advisors can go through it and see how beautiful it is for us to be able to not ask for right. We can have a right over the book, and that is what happens in the industry. So this is a conglomeration of a whole lot of things. We're into film production, film distribution, film market, and of course, film festival organizing across the spectrum of the industry in Africa. And also, what we also have to realize, I didn't mention, is the fact that over 70% of African population are youth-based, and over half of that too are in the internet. They use internet. They're in this internet space. So it's the biggest market in the world when it comes to content marketing. Africa is another huge market. So what we need in Africa now is more investment in cinema, more investment in equipment, and more investment in studios, so that some of this content that is being scantily produced can properly be produced and distributed for bigger return on investment. Like I said, this is really a virgin land for film business right now. After the success of the Black Panther, African film industry has been very, very attractive to the foreign filmmakers, but they are not also coming with a clear-cut agenda. They are still coming as if they are coming to steal gold and diamond. They're still coming in and then giving us the price they desire. But what Afro is trying to do, we're trying to now build the market where we bring these contents to America or to anywhere in the world, and then the deals can be made there. At that point of the marketplace, you'll be able to have the real price for your product, the real price for your content. It's no longer coming through the back door to take away what belongs to us and then showcase it to the world and make all the millions of dollars yourself. And then the artists in Africa are hungry, and some of them are sick on sick beds right now. So this is where we're going. If you're ready, we can go with you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. For answering the question. And the other, one thing that strikes me about what you're sharing is that it reminds me of some other, in my own career as a nurse, what I have learned from Florence Nightingale's experience of nursing, what even prompted her she is recognized as the founder of the modern nursing. In 18th century, she started as a public health nurse. She was doing her own thing until the war broke, and then she started finding ways she could actually reduce infection among the soldiers. And then she started little by little by little by little. And here today, she is, and when you talk about nursing, you can't miss, talking about Florence Nightingale. And the whole idea also of being a founder is to ensure that even you, with your own life and their experience, that people are looking at you right now, but also that people are going to look at what you have accomplished in the next 100 years, 150 years. And for me, that's very critical. So that for all of us, whatever we have decided to engage in will prosper today, but more so in the future, the next generation and generations to come. Therefore, we need that solid foundation and whatever it is, and commitment to whatever it is that we have said yes to today. And it doesn't come without, the troubles, the challenges, but people have done it, and so we can. And there are a few things that we talked about in our nursing profession that is also part of why I'm really engaged in this whole thing. When our friend started, Florence Nightingale did nursing. She did it from a cultural point of view. So she used what she had. Today, we don't have African way of nursing. That is missing. And now when we have each time we go to programs or we watch programs on Zoom or wherever, you get filmmakers who are sharing the story. But we don't have people who can even share how Africans have been involved in healthcare in their own way. Because, Africans have lived thousands and thousands of years before our colonial masters appeared. And we really want to find out, how did they survive all those years without even Western medicine? These are the things that we believe that the film industry would be able to highlight, and let us understand who we are and how enriched Africa is. So thank you so much for coming, Chief Jasper, to enlighten us on this wonderful project. And I know this conversation is going to be ongoing. There are 7 of us on this call, Zoom. If we all each can share with another 2, 3 people, that's how you really propagate information and get other people to get involved. Joseph, I have a strong belief that you will be able to share in your own circle, and so is everybody else. Thank you so much for everyone for coming to this podcast tonight. And if nobody else has any questions, I am saying thank you so much. And know that you're all welcome every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Americans. Nigerians, that's a challenge, but I'm glad that 2 of you were able to make it tonight or this morning for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your morning.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, Jasper, for coming on. If you're still
Thank
here.
you. Thank you so
All
much.
right. So
Emily.
the recording is over. Oh, now we can see a little bit of your face.
Okay, can you see my face?
A little.
bit.
Okay. We'll call it slow shedding. There's slow shedding
Right.
here. Slow shedding
Yeah.
here. Once again, I want to appreciate all of you. This is really heartwarming for me that I can still sit down here and talk about Afro International Film Festival that everybody else has abandoned. So I really thank God Almighty for bringing a couple of you into this vision. But one thing is assured, the future is bright. I'm not kidding you. The future is bright. Africa is rich with our stories. Like you talked about the traditional nursing. Oh, fantastic. You need to see, I was in Imo State. To take herb. I went to visit a herbalist who he needed to see the firewood they used to cook these herbs for diabetic patients and for people that have leg ulcer. It's like a hospital, you know, and I was sharing it with a couple of my friends who called then. The guy called from Germany, then I was showing him what they were doing and how people were getting healed. You know, we had wonderful method of healing ourselves even before the arrival of the white people. These are things we should be able to tell in our stories. And it's very critical that the world understands how we can do, what we can do with our own medicine and bring health to our people, you know.
Right.
Okay, thank you so
Right.
much. We're gonna have to
Good
let
morning.
you go and rest.
Okay.
Good morning. Good
Thank
night
you.
from here.
You know, I can talk from now till
I know.
yeah, thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless
God
you.
bless you
Thank
too.
Bye-bye.
Bless
Jasper.
you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. Good
Bye-bye.
night. Thank you, Emily.
You're welcome. And
All
thank
right.
you
Have
for
a good
all-
night.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.